Namaste, angels. This is the weekly general reading for the period of tomorrow, Sunday, July 21st, through Saturday to come, July 27th. Happy birthday to the last of the Cancers. Happy birthday to the first of the Leos. Thank you for joining, liking, sharing, and subscribing to my channel. I really appreciate all the ways you guys support me. Speaking of that, I have posted on my Facebook, IG, YouTube, and Twitter a screenshot of an email I received from YouTube looking for comments or posts from my subscribers stating that they're having difficulty with my channel, things like not receiving their notifications and so on and so forth. So if that has happened to you, if that is you that I'm speaking of, please do go to one of those posts and comment as such, and or contact YouTube directly. Either or both are appreciated. If it did happen to you and you go to the post, please don't just like. You have to actually say something so that they'll know, because they've asked me for you'll see. If you see the post, you'll see in the picture where YouTube is asking me for this information. I'm not just sending it randomly, so I do need you to comment. And yeah, I appreciate it like I appreciate everything else you guys do for me. This week, we're not going to discuss anything from the Hebrew calendar. There's nothing on it, really. Muslim calendar may have some stuff on it, but nothing about which we're going to talk. I've been saying for the past few weeks that we wouldn't discuss anything further on the Islamic calendar until the Hajj, which is mid-August. The Hajj is the pilgrimage to Mecca, so nothing there. We're going straight to the Christian calendar, and the first feast day on it for this week is July 22nd, master number 22, which equals 13 or 4 or 11, 11, and is the feast day of Mary Magdalene. Now, I started to go to franciscanmedia.org or something to get this information, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to go to Britannica or Wikipedia or something, because I want to just see. I didn't feel like I could trust Franciscan media to give me the oomph of Mary that I was seeking. And I can't promise I'll get it here either, but I figured I had better chances. So I elected not to go to Franciscan media, and we're here on wikipedia.org. So I'll read that in a second. I think it's pretty cool that Mary is celebrated on the 22, which equals 13, because so is Mary, mother of Jesus. You know, that 13 is one of her favorite numbers. Our Lady of Fatima is the 13th of every month for 6 months from May through October, but she's got several other 13s, and so I just noticed that pattern and between the two of them a while back. In any case, let's get to it. www.wikipedia.org. Mary Magdalene. Mary Magdalene, sometimes called simply the Magdalene or Magdalene, was a Jewish woman who, according to the 4 canonical Gospels, traveled with Jesus and was one of his followers and a witness to his crucifixion, burial, and resurrection. I feel because she was the number 1 apostle, not Peter, but that's another story. She's mentioned by name 12 times in the Gospels, more than most of the Gospels. Yes, because she's, again, number 1, and that makes sense then. Mary's epitaph, Magdalene, was most likely coming from the fact that she was from the town of Magdala, a fishing town on the western shore of the Sea of Galilee. The Gospel of Luke 8:2-3 lists Mary as one of the women who traveled with Jesus and helped to support his ministry, quote, out of their resources, end quote. Maybe she had a few dollars, indicating that she was probably relatively wealthy. She was like a Queen of Pentacles, maybe. Right? Perhaps she even was an earth sign, like Jesus himself, at least by my belief. And I've demonstrated it. And I've seen, since I've demonstrated it and then I subsequently did some research, I see a few other people feel that he was a Virgo too. But that too is another story. So maybe she was a Queen of Pentacles if she wasn't an actual earth sign, a Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. Maybe she was just particularly nurturing and generous. Maybe she was ruled by Libra, like a Gemini, Libra, or Taurus. Or by Venus, rather, or something like that. Anyway, the passage, the same passage, also states that 7 demons had been driven out of her, a statement which is repeated in the longer ending of Mark. In all 4 Gospels, she is a witness to the crucifixion of Jesus, and in the Synoptic Gospels, she is also present at his burial. All 4 Gospels identify her, either alone or as a member of a larger group of women, as the first witnesses to the empty tomb and the first to testify to Jesus' resurrection. For these reasons, she's known in many Christian traditions as, quote, apostle to the apostles, end quote. Again, I think she was number 1, not Peter. Mary is a central figure in later Gnostic Christian writings, including the Dialogue of the Savior, Pistis Sophia, the Gospel of Thomas. Now, Thomas was also very close to Mary, Jesus' mother. Thomas is to whom she left her girdle in the tomb. Not Mary Magdalene, Mary, mother of Jesus. Anyway, the Gospel of Philip and the Gospel of Mary are other texts that they mention here. These texts, which scholars do not regard as containing necessarily accurate historical information, portray her as Jesus's closest disciple. Yeah, that's why they were pulled out, and that's why you're not giving them the credence that they deserve. Anyway, Jesus' closest disciple and the only one who truly understood his teachings. Hello. In the Gnostic Gospels, Mary Magdalene's closeness to Jesus results in tension with the other disciples, particularly Simon Peter. I could imagine that probably actually happened. During the Middle Ages, Mary Magdalene was conflated in Western tradition with Mary of Bethany and the unnamed, quote, end quote, sinful woman who anoints Jesus' feet in Luke 7:36 through 50. This resulted in a widespread but inaccurate belief that she is a repentant prostitute or promiscuous woman. Elaborate medieval legends from Western Europe tell exaggerated tales of Mary Magdalene's wealth and beauty, as well as her alleged journey to the south of France. The identification of Mary Magdalene with Mary of Bethany and the unnamed sinful woman was a major controversy in the years leading up to the Reformation, and some Protestant leaders rejected it. During the Counter-Reformation, the Catholic Church used Mary Magdalene as a symbol of penance. In 1969, the identification of Mary Magdalene with Mary of Bethany and the sinful woman was removed from the general Roman calendar by Pope Paul VI, but the view of her as a former prostitute has persisted in popular culture. She's not the only one. There's like 5 women related to Jesus, like his cousins. I used to know these women by name. Rebecca is one of them. I'm all Mercury retrograded. Mercury has been retrograding the fuck out of me, so I can't even think right now. But there's like 5, not just Mary Magdalene. In any case, it's just persisted, this story that she's a prostitute, and she may have been, like, who cares? Anyway, Mary Magdalene is considered to be a saint by Catholic, Eastern Orthodox, Anglican, and Lutheran churches, with a feast day of July 22nd. Other Protestant churches honor her as a heroine of the faith. The Eastern Orthodox churches also commemorate her on the Sunday of the Myrrh Bearers. Now let's look. What's the Sunday of the Myrrh Bearers? Myrrh as in like frankincense and myrrh. Oops, I didn't mean to click on the whole thing. Hang on. Just wanted to highlight something. It's not letting me just highlight it. In Orthodox Christian tradition, the myrrh bearers are the individuals mentioned in the New Testament who were directly involved in the burial or who discovered the empty tomb following the resurrection of Jesus. Oh, I've never heard them referred to as that. Okay, that's interesting. So she's celebrated on the Sunday of the Myrrh Bearers. and which is the Orthodox equivalent of one of the Western Three Marys traditions. Yeah, there's a well, I know it as Tres Marias, but it's the same thing. The Three Marys, or Maries, or Marias, it should be, are women mentioned in the Gospels narratives of the crucifixion and resurrection of Jesus, several of whom were or have been considered by Christian tradition to have been named Mary. So there were a few named Mary. Speculations that Mary Magdalene was Jesus' wife or that she had a sexual relationship with him are regarded by most historians as highly dubious. So that means they doubt it. I don't. So that was the 22nd. On the 25th, we celebrate St. James. The 25th is actually going to be, of course, 7/7, another 7/7. And James the Apostle, one of the two sons of thunder, he and his brother John, Jesus nicknamed them the sons of thunder, is also known as James the Greater, or James, son of Zebedee. So that's where I am. I'm on the James, son of Zebedee page of www.wikipedia.org. The son of Zebedee and Salome is James. He is styled the Greater to distinguish him from the Apostle James the Less, with greater meaning older or taller rather than more important. He was the brother of John the Apostle. James is described as one of the first disciples to join Jesus. The Synoptic Gospels state that James and John were with their father by the seashore when Jesus called them to follow him. James was one of only 3 apostles with whom Jesus selected to bear witness to his transfiguration. The transfiguration, of course, when Jesus appeared on the mountain and started glowing and appearing very godlike, and then Elijah and Moses showed up, and it was the 3 of them, right? James and John, or in another tradition, it's said to have been their mother and not them directly, asked Jesus to grant them seats on his right and his left in his glory. Jesus rebuked them, and the other apostles were annoyed with them. James and his brother wanted to call down fire on a Samaritan town, but Jesus rebuked them again. Now, we're talking about them calling down fire. That means not only Jesus had the ability to do it, but the apostles did too. All this stuff is hidden in plain sight, I told you, right? So it's just like us. Any other doesn't equate Jesus to them. He was definitely of a high vibration. I know that to be true. Than the others, ranging anywhere between 8 and 10D. But they also had the ability to do some of these things. The Acts of the Apostles records that Herod, the king, traditionally identified with Herod Agrippa, had James executed by the sword. Yeah, they had him beheaded. Nixon suggests that this may have been caused by James's fiery temper, for which he and his brother earned the nicknames Bonerges, or the Sons of Thunder. Bruce contrasts the story to that of liberation of St. Peter and notes that James should die while Peter should escape is a mystery of divine providence. James is believed to have been the first martyr, as far as I remember, but I haven't seen them say that here yet. St. James is the patron saint of Spain. According to legend, his remains are held in Santiago de Compostela in Galicia. The name Santiago is the local evolution of St. James. Okay. Interesting. They talk about a pilgrimage and stuff that people do there. In Jerusalem, the site of martyrdom is located within the Armenian Apostolic Cathedral of St. James in the Armenian quarter of Jerusalem. The chapel of St. James the Great, located to the left of the sanctuary, is the traditional place where he was martyred. When King Agrippa ordered him to be beheaded, yes, Acts 12:1-2, his head is buried under the altar, marked by a piece of red marble and surrounded by 6 votive lamps, so candles. Talks about other stuff here. Medieval Santiago legend. Something about the Moors, St. James. The Moor Slayer is calling him down here. That would be like killing black people. Very, very interesting, since I'm sure he was also black, but not a Moor, maybe, I guess. In any case, getting off of St. James and moving to Saint Anne and Joaquin, Mary's parents. And for this, I went to www.encyclopediabritannica.com. Saint Anne and Joaquin flourished 1st century BC Palestine. Western feast day, July 26th. Eastern feast day, July 25th. They were the parents of the Virgin Mary, according to tradition derived from certain writings. Information concerning their lives and names is found in the 2nd century, in the first Gospel of James, and in the 3rd century AD, in something called Evangelium de Nativite Maria, which I guess is written in Latin, and it just means the Gospel of the Nativity of Mary. According to these sources, Anne, which is also Hannah in Hebrew, was born in Bethlehem, Judea. She married Joachim, and although they shared a wealthy and devout life at Nazareth, they eventually lamented their childlessness. Yes, Joaquin, reproached at the temple for his sterility, retreated into the countryside to pray, while Anne, grieved by his disappearance and by her barrenness, solemnly promised that if given a child, she would dedicate it to the Lord's service. Both received the vision of an angel who announced that Anne would conceive and bear a most wondrous child. The couple rejoiced at the birth of their daughter, whom Anne named Mary. Actually, they named her Mariama. That's the original name. It is still found in old Hebrew writings. It is absolutely still found in the Quran. And Mariama means gift of God. So it makes sense with the story, right? They prayed for this gift. They prayed for a child even though they were too old to have otherwise had one. And Joachim was already sterile and Anne was already barren. In any case, when the child was 3 years old, Joachim and Anne, in fulfillment of their divine promise, brought Mary to the temple at Jerusalem, where they left her to be brought up. They basically left her like a convent kind of. This event became so important in church doctrine that by 1585, or 613, which equals 19, Pope Sixtus, yes, Sixtus, the fifth, I guess together his name equals 11, included in the Western Church calendar the liturgical feast of the presentation of the Virgin Mary. It's celebrated on November 21st. Although this festival originated early in the East, probably at Jerusalem in the year 543, its first Western observance was recorded in England in the 11th century. The account of their lives startlingly parallels the Old Testament story of the barren Hannah and her conception of Samuel, which is found in 1 Samuel 1. According to later legends, Joachim died shortly after Mary's birth, and Anne, encouraged by the Holy Spirit, remarried. Anne's cult was fervent in the Eastern Church as early as the 4th century, and in the early 8th century, Pope Constantine probably introduced her devotion to Rome. Joaquin's cult was introduced to the West in the 15th century. And that became the foundation for establishing the liturgical feast of the Nativity of the Virgin Mary, which is celebrated on September 8th, and the Immaculate Conception of the Blessed Virgin Mary, which is celebrated on December 8th. These are kind of just days that were pulled out of the air. Well, it tells you this is the foundation for it. And then they made them 9 months apart so as to, suggest carrying a child in one's womb for 9 months. Many churches, the first dating from the 6th century, were built in Anne's honor. Anne's cult became extremely popular in the Middle Ages with influenced such theologians as Jean de Gerson, Conrad Wimpernau, and Johann Eck, who endorsed the interpolation that Anne, in her alleged subsequent marriages, became the grandmother of the apostles John and James, sons of Zebedee, and Simon, Judas, James, son of Alphaeus, and also James, the Lord's brother, in quotes. Martin Luther and others vehemently attacked the cult of Anne, which was then promoted by post-Reformation popes. Eastern literature on Anne, going back to the 4th century, does not follow the fantastic legends of medieval Western tradition. Anne is the patron saint of Brittany and Canada, and of women in labor. And that was the last for the Catholic, or Christian, rather, liturgy, so to speak, liturgical calendar. So now we move on to the planetary calendar, or celestial calendar. And I'll start from July 19th, even though that's last week's reading. At 3:06 a.m., Mercury retrograde entered Cancer. And then on this week, on July 22nd, so Mary's feast day, Mary Magdalene's feast day, at 10:50 p.m., the sun enters Leo. And then on the 27th, the last day for which this reading is, at 9:54 or 9:09, Venus enters Leo. So let's see what they say first about Mercury being in Cancer from www.tarot.com. When Mercury is retrograde in Cancer. Because Cancer rules all things connected to home and family, these are the exact areas that could experience mishaps while Mercury retrogrades through this sign. Miscommunication with family members or tension between relatives is common during Mercury retrograde in Cancer. It could, however, be a great time to reconnect with family as well. To maybe you'll get to have a reunion or reunite with somebody that you haven't talked to in a long time. Buying or selling a house or starting a big home renovation project are also not advised during Mercury retrograde in Cancer, and problems like missing contracts, delayed plans, and miscommunicated information can plague the process. Venus in Leo. This was written on May 1st by the staff of tarot.com. Venus in Leo, generous, loving, proud. When Venus, the planet of love, money, and desire, joins up with Leo's expressive and courageous energy on August 26 in 2017, it's a direct invitation to live and to love out loud. Yes, I said 2017, but again, this was written on May 1st, 2019. So they must be talking about the original transit, the major transit. Leo is the zodiac sign that rules the heart. So Venus's romantic side is extra infectious here, but Venus likes sweet and calm cooperation. So she could be taken for a wild ride with Leo, the lion, who prefers things to be a bit more dramatic. Sure do. Because Venus is a positive planet and Leo is a positive sign, together they create an immense amount of joy. Their combined energy has the power to heal wounds from the past and to push us forward into more exciting and hopeful times. When lovely Venus enters Leo, the most expressive of all zodiac signs, we're ready to shout our love from the rooftops. Leo is a fire sign that's all about creativity, showing off, and speaking from the heart. So this energy lights up love like a torch. Expect playful dates, loud declarations of love, and maybe even a few jealous tantrums. Big feelings will be expressed now, one way or another. No one wants to simply be liked or appreciated when Venus is in Leo. We want to be adored. This is a time to take risks and to make grand gestures. So those who play it safe could be left on the sidelines during this transit. Clearly, love isn't calm or easygoing while Venus is in Leo. While the lion just wants to play and enjoy life, Leo is also a sign that's full of drama. Sure is. And if we feel like we're not getting the attention or recognition that we deserve, we may lash out at lovers who are only doing their best. During this transit, we may even start a passionate argument just to stir things up and to feel like the center of attention again. I can't stand when people do stuff like that. I think that's disgusting. Anyway, we might do it because of this transit. Remember that there is no I in the word we, and the more we focus on only ourselves and our own needs, the more we're likely to end up with just that, only ourselves. Money is a means to an end while Venus is in Leo. It's all about making yourself and the ones you care about feel like $1,000,000. Leo is an extravagant sign who appreciates glitz, glitter, and glamour. So it's natural to splurge a bit during this transit, but pampering ourselves will only bring us a certain amount of satisfaction. Leo is a supremely generous sign, and spending money on thoughtful or over-the-top gifts for others will make us even happier than treating ourselves now. Venus in Leo is an especially colorful time that we can re-energize our relationships with others, and it reminds you that a life without a little bit of fun and excitement is no life at all. This article goes on to talk about if you were born with your own, Venus and Leo in your chart, and some of the traits of people during Venus and Leo, or with this placement. Playful, fun, extravagant, dramatic, glamorous, courageous, big-hearted, childlike, and unrestricted. And on that note, let's move to the cards. We're beginning with spend money, sex, and email. Spirit says massage. I'm going to get one on Sunday, and I'm doing this like ear acupuncture thing too. And they're having some sort of music, meditation, something I'm not used to. And that came up in last week's reading. There was something about music and like therapy and healing energy from music. So I think that maybe when I got the invitation in an email, coincidentally, I was like, oh, like from my neighborhood acupuncture place. I was like, oh, I should go to this. It's like 3 hours on a Sunday, so I'm going to do that. Anyway, forget it is what Spirit also says. And party. The cards are beginning with the Ace of Summer, the Page of Water or Summer, and a card called Family in my Life Purpose deck. Loving your friends and family is central to your life purpose. Again, I felt that we could kind of go either way with friends and family. It could be awesome, or we may have some problems. And now I know why I was feeling that way. It must have been that Venus in Leo thing. Or was that the Mercury in Cancer that said it could cause us to have misunderstandings with loved ones? I think it was the Mercury in Cancer. In any case, it can come up. It can happen. We're going to start this reading with the Page of Water, or the Page of Cups, who is intuitive, sensitive, artistic, and friendly. A new person enters your life. A relationship begins a new phase, and there are heightened psychic abilities. Of course, the Page of Water or Cups, pages in general bring news. So this one brings news that is emotionally pleasing to us and or, is about love. Some sort of offer of love. And speaking of the Page of Cups, which for me is a Pisces, right? Because it's the more youthful, the mutable sign. Opening to Major Arcana card 12, Awakening, or the Hangman, which is also a Pisces. Look at things from a different perspective. You're at a temporary standstill. It's important to be yourself. You might just need to change your mindset in order to feel better about wherever you are. Yeah, how did I know that was coming? That somebody was feeling down and they needed to change their mindset. The Five of Earth, fears surrounding money, the wisdom to accept help from others, and uncertain self-employment. As it relates to relationship, this card can be about fear of commitment, fear of abandonment, fear of the past, like your fear that your current relationship is going to be like a past one, mommy issues, daddy issues, just all kinds of things like that. And until you can release that kind of stuff, it's probably best to not be trying to even enter a relationship, to be honest. Page of Water. The Ten of Air, the end of a difficult situation. Embrace the change and expect things to get better now. Maybe even be recovering from an addiction. Ten of Air for me is about betrayal, codependency, toxicity in general. Could be addictions, not necessarily to substance abuse, but that too could be substance abuse, could be even sex addiction, addictions to people in general, food addictions, extreme diets. Also opening to the Knight of Fire, who's passionate, adventurous, self-assured, and restless. A sudden event that needs your attention right away happens, and time is of the essence. Think things through carefully. The Knight of Fire is a Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. Knight of Fire, one more, is the Five of Fire. Competing goals, bothersome details, conflict with others. I think for most part, this is not going to be about conflict with family members, not this card at least. Although it can be, and where that occurs, this sort of energy might be behind it. But I just feel that this card is showing up first and foremost to be positive, and it's about being a go-getter. Right? It's about being this Knight of Fire. This is the Knight in Shining Armor. What are they showing us here? Oh, it's the Seven of Water. I guess we have choices. We have a choice. And we're guided to do the right thing. But Major Arcana card 8, Justice. Who rules the card that this represents? Libra, the sign of Libra. That's Venus. I think this is about that Venus in Leo transit. Where this is one of our choices. Like, sure, we have choices, but we can be this extra loving and vocal about it, living and loving out loud kind of person, or not. We can be quiet, so I feel like this guy is not quiet. He is taking like tremendous action, aggressive action, hot pursuit of this, so-called princess. And look what I knew they were trying to show me something here. I see it now. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Look what's behind the Five of Fire. It's the Two of Fire, the Two of Wands. So it's saying like to aggressively pursue your passion, whether it can still be a business or something, or a friendship with the Two of Wands, but also, could definitely be romantic connection. The Two of Wands is the divine union or twin flame card of the tarot, So if this is the Knight in Shining Armor coming to rescue his queen, his princess, aggressively into hot pursuit, there she is, or he is, right there. And there actually is two men on this card, not a male and a female. Knight of Fire. Ah, look at that. That Seven of Water that they were showing me, it's back. A complex decision. The need to do research. Stop procrastinating. It can be talking specifically to a King of Water, maybe, right? Of course, that can represent anybody, but it might be an actual water sign who has to make a decision. Are you going to remain quiet and sensitive, or mysterious? Maybe it's a damn Scorpio. And not letting anybody in. It's going underground and like an actual insect, and resurfacing months later with nobody knowing what the hell happened to you. Or are you going to be this? Scorpio can also be an actual Knight of Fire, because Scorpio is ruled both by Pluto and Mars, the red planet, ruler of fellow fire sign Aries. So that could be what the complex decision is. But otherwise, like I said before, you know, there's options and there's choices. There's a free will choice. You got to decide what you're doing. Because it doesn't have to be pursuit of a relationship. It can be pursuit of something else that would make you happy, bring you joy, something else about which you're passionate. But once you make that decision, we got another 7 here, well, you want to stick to it. You want to stand your ground. Defending your beliefs and decisions. Stand your ground, but choose your battles wisely. I do feel that something could be coming up specifically on the 25th for some people. That was the same day as the feast day of St. James the Greater, the Apostle. Because now we got a 7-7. We just had the 7 of Cups, and now right after that, the 7 of Fire. So that reminded me of the 725. Because as soon as I saw 725, that was, you know, popped into my head. 7-7, you know. I think that this is what it was about. That may be on the day that's the day on which some of us have to make this choice. And, or some of us may be awaiting some sort of legal decision, with Major Arcana card Justice having shown up in the middle of that too, and being connected to a decision. It could be a decision that is handed down from somebody else that you're awaiting, that factors into this. That doesn't mean anything necessarily bad for you. That could be good. Maybe you're the one who initiated some sort of, you know, court or legal process or contractual agreement, whether you're starting a business or getting married or getting divorced or whatever. There's a million different kind of contracts you could be working on, and it's your business if you choose to do it during Mercury retrograde. You know, yeah. There's a lot of things at play here. There's a lot of things at play here. Maybe he can't be stopped even by Mercury retrograde. You know, he's still going to pursue. But once you make a decision, the 7 of Fire guides you to, you know, stick to it unless you don't want to stick to it. If you yourself decide that you're changing your mind, that's always fine. We can change our mind whenever we want. But don't let your mind be changed by somebody else, you know, forcibly, because they manipulate you or something. There's the Knight of Water now. Him popping up wanting to be seen. And the Emperor, which represents the planet Mars. So again, this could definitely be Scorpio, at least for somebody watching this. The Knight of Water is emotional, romantic, enthusiastic, and contemplating, falling in love, or wedding proposals. The need to balance emotions and an invitation to a social event. The Knight of Water is indeed a Scorpio, or perhaps a Pisces or a Cancer, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. The Knight of Water Knights make proposals in general. The Knight of Water makes romantic proposals, you know, and romantic, again, doesn't have to mean love in this way. Romantic can mean, you know, fantasy based, like your dreams come true sort of proposals. So even if it is like, it could be your dream job, for example, your dream living condition, or tied to somebody else with whom you have an emotional connection. Major Arcana card 4, the Emperor, that person may be your father, right? Or some sort of authority. Maybe it is a legal situation, and this is a corporation, a government entity. Organization and logic, structure and discipline, also leadership. Maybe there is a Knight of Water involved in something legal, awaiting news. The 7 and the 4 equal 11 together. Of course, 11s equal 2s. 2s represent partnership, duality, faith, the need to have faith. Maybe somebody needs to believe everything's going to be okay. See, everything's going to be okay. 10 of Water. And a contented and rewarding family life. Your emotional and material needs are met, and you have trustworthy relationships. This is that feeling of being surrounded by love and happiness. Whether you are surrounded by a bunch of people or, you know, you're not. It's that feeling. Can represent getting together with family and close friends and stuff too. Overall energy is the King of Air, who's brilliant, impartial, professional, and diplomatic. Speak your mind with confidence. Seek out professional advice. Balance mental and emotional considerations. The King of Air for me is a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, or someone like into those traits or attributes. Could be Mercury himself. Could be Venus herself. Doesn't matter. It's the king. And can also be representative, again, of something like legal or something. The King of Air is often he's a professional, so he's often like a judge, a lawyer, a realtor, an accountant, like that sort of thing. I'm going to do this deck now, begin with the Ace of Summer. This is the beginning of a new emotional experience for you. It may be the first blush of romantic love, the rebirth of a current relationship, or the awakening of spiritual gifts and insights. Ace of Summer can be about meeting somebody brand new, or it can be about reunions too, and reconciliation. Opening from there straight to the Ace of Winter, it could definitely be something going on between an air sign and a water sign. Implementation of your brilliant new idea may get off to a rocky start, but keep going. The challenges will help you to refine your plan and to reshape your goals into something even better. Ace of Summer, the Eight of Autumn. It's the perfect time to learn all you can by returning to school, taking a seminar, or conducting research. Do your best work, and the law of attraction will bring you prosperity and career advancement. Eight of Autumn, or Pentacles, for me, is about reaping what you've sown. So, like with the 7, we're planting, we're preparing. Speaking of 7s, I open to another 7. It's another 7 of Cups. But with the 8, like we've already gathered everything, the harvest, and it's stuff that we earned because we put the work in. The 7 of Summer, it's time to stop procrastinating and to make a decision so that you can move forward with a priority. If you need to do more research, then do so, but don't overthink the situation. Listen to your heart. You will naturally overthink, perhaps, if you are an air sign. And like I said, this could have something to do with relationship, absolutely, commitment, some sort of contract being, completed that's on a positive note to you. With the 4 of Fire showing up right behind it, the 4 of Wands, contentment, peace, and abundance, a happy home life, and the successful completion of a project. Could be the end of some sort of legal situation. So you're happy about that. 10 of Fire behind it also indicates that there was, something stressful going on perhaps, or you were stressed out. Maybe you're just overthinking because you're an air sign. But, that sort of energy coming to an end with the 10 of Fire here. Too much work, accept help from others. Life is out of balance, and that can cause stress-related health concerns. Maybe you felt like everything was on your shoulders. You were burdened by something. Maybe you felt burdensome upon somebody else. Yeah, a partner. It wasn't 50-50. You weren't sharing the weight. There was balance missing. Could be any kind of partner, a friend, romantic, lovers or something, family members. You've come into your own. New partnerships or contracts, like the 4 of Wands represents. Continue to move forward. 7 of Fire also back upright. Defend your beliefs and decisions. Stand your ground, but choose your battles wisely. We're not going to want to fight, particularly with family and or close friends, loved ones, just for any old reason. And you can stand your ground. The 4 of Fire and the 2 of Fire together. Very, very good. In terms of commitment and partnership that, that's meaningful, whether it's love related or not. If you could walk away from the family without arguing with them, let's try that. And it's the Prince of Autumn, who is trustworthy, dedicated, protective, and funny. It's important to make a detailed plan before starting any new endeavor. Once you have that plan in place, then you can take immediate action and get as much accomplished as possible. Prince of Autumn is a Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo, which is also ruled by Mercury, the sign of Virgo. Or someone likened to those traits or attributes. We'll do one more, and it is Justice again. Right, Justice in this deck now. Major Arcana card 8. Again, Venus represents the planet or the planet, the major arcana card 8 represents the planet Venus, ruler of the sign of Libra. So that may be who the air sign is, and or it can be about something where there's justice, maybe an actual legal decision. Again, fair decisions will be made after the evidence is reviewed impartially. Have compassion for others and try to see all sides of a disagreement. So this can just be about changing your mindset too, and considering other people's circumstances or possible circumstances and conditions, as well. Sort of being compassionate for other people. Ace of Summer. One more. I keep saying one more. It's a 4. Thoroughly think things through before making a decision. It's a 4 about a decision. Continuing to overanalyze isn't going to get you any closer to a resolution, but meditation and prayer will bring you the answers you seek. 4 of Winter can also be about planning a vacation for me. Like when the 6 comes, that can be when you're actually traveling. The 4 is the planning stage. Very nice. Now it's the 9 of Summer. Now's the time your dreams come true. Don't worry about how this will happen. Just give gratitude to God for all that you have and all that's still to come. You ended a relationship with somebody on a really, really bad note. You've been praying that you make up with them, reconcile with them. Ace of Summer style, right? Ace of Cups style. But you just can't figure out how that could possibly ever happen. It was just so bad. The 9 of Summer is one of those kind of cards that shows up and says, don't worry about how. Like, I got how. You just have the faith. So there's that too. You just have the faith that it's possible. And I'll take care of the rest. The 9 of Summer is a big resounding yes from the minor arcana too, as it relates to love most specifically. Overall energy is major arcana card 5, Unity, which is actually the Hierophant in the traditional tarot. Represents the sign of Taurus. Can also be one of those cards representative of government agencies or contracts, signing something important, documents, corporations larger than, entities larger than yourself, higher institutions like college maybe. And I don't want to say on a smaller note, on a more personal note, for me, can very much be about the environment with which we surround ourselves, the people, places, and things with which we surround ourselves, and the need to make adjustments to that. To remove people from our lives that don't resonate with our vibration or one that's higher than ours from which we can learn something. To add people to our lives that do. To get away from funky environments. I have this vice. I'll call it a vice. I don't watch much TV, like at all. My TV is almost never on. But I've gotten into watching this Love After Lockup show on WeTV. It's these people that, mostly men that have been in jail, but there's a couple of women too that were in jail, came out, and now, they have love. In some cases, they got married even, and stuff like that. They're in these relationships with these people that waited for them to get out of jail. And in one instance, a black Mormon female somehow married a Crip, waited for him for years, and now doesn't want him around like his friends or family. And you might say, especially I'm looking from the outside in, and I'm not defending her imposition of religion. I think religiosity and religion should just be thrown out the window, period, for everybody. But some might say, like these new people, often women, come along and they separate you from your family and all that kind of stuff, and I definitely get that. But there is also something to be considered about cutting ties to the people, places, and things that had you end up in jail in the first place, even if that is your family. Because you're in a different place now. You've ascended to a higher place than that. You're on a new path. You don't want to go back to the old path. So that can be what the Hierophant is about for me too. I'm just turning the cards upright where they're upside down. We've just laid 18 cards without looking at any of them, right? So completely, I just felt to get the messages of the two cards at the same time rather than do a spread, get messages, lay one on top of it, get messages. I don't know. So we'll see what happens with this. Crowning the masculine. The High Priestess and the Six of Water. Memories from your history or childhood. Issues regarding children. Romanticizing the past. Also, for the High Priestess, this is the time to pause and to reflect. Not to take action. Trust in your spiritual gifts as nothing is hidden from your divine sight. So this is coming and telling us too, like even if you feel you have to make a decision, even if the universe is beating you over the head with the fact that you have a decision to make, it shouldn't be entered, like recklessly. Be the High Priestess, especially if it has to do with some sort of partnership or your need to maintain faith. Use your intuition before you move. Use your wisdom, your intellect, any information you have available to you. Consider it, weigh it, look at it from multiple angles before you move. The High Priestess is someone who, she doesn't just, jump out the window as soon as she feels pushed to do something. And she's very mysterious, and she doesn't necessarily tell everybody what she's doing or what she knows. Without being like a malicious liar, she's very good at not letting on that she knows what she knows, which is everything. It's always stuff that people think she doesn't know. With the High Priestess here together with the Six of Water, first of all, there may be specifically a Gemini or a water sign, a very intuitive one to whom you are very particularly soul connected, that returns to your life from the past. Some sort of soulmate. Could very well be a romantic soulmate. It doesn't, although it doesn't have to be in the general reading. Some other situation or incident can be coming up from your past, and that could be tied to whatever this legal thing is for some people. For some people, they do have some sort of legal situation or, a serious matter to attend to, and it's something that's coming up from your past. Look before you leap. Look before you leap. And that's not to tell you not to leap. It's just to tell you the real G's move in silence, and there's a way to go about it. Using your senses first. Surrounding the masculine. The Five of Water and the King of Autumn. You may be disappointed in your finances or your material life, your material wealth. And or maybe specifically a person. You might be disappointed in a King of Autumn. A Capricorn, Virgo, or Taurus, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. But typically, the King of Autumn is somebody who's particularly generous. So he may be giving to you, or you may be this giving person, but still feeling like that's not enough, like you're lacking something. And that's something on which you need to work. So again, that's when you pull this energy out too. In terms of your faith and in terms of being honest with yourself, being an honest self-assessment of where you're at and realizing, hey, I've got this. It's okay if this was lost. It's okay if this left my life. Maybe the Hierophant, is why it had to leave my life. Major Arcana card 5, right? I got the 5 here. Minus these 3, maybe they no longer align with my vibration, and I'm left with the 2. That may be something you need to do. The King of Autumn says that everything's going to turn out great. Projects will be stunningly successful. Exciting new career opportunities are possible. And money or resources that comes your way will also be invested wisely. For some, you could be thinking like money's not enough, which I feel you. Like, you may be feeling sort of empty. Like, yeah, I got this material, I got stuff. But I'm missing that, soul connection with another person or something like that. That can be the feeling too, is what I'm getting. And masculine subconscious down here. The 3 of water and the 2 of spring. Reunion with a partner. Getting together with an old friend. Maybe unexpectedly. This is what's on your mind to do too. So if you have the opportunity, you should do it. The 3 of water, a celebration, a wedding, graduation, or a birth announcement. And the need to have more fun. This is like pushing you to be social too. And the 2 of spring. Your vision, creativity, and dedication to your cause have brought you great success. In fact, it may be in your best interest to get a partner to assist you in your endeavors or to expand the number of people who are helping you. This King of Autumn may also be an investor in a business, like where you felt that you were lacking. King of Autumn can step in, or in some other area of your life where you felt that you were lacking. This can be somebody who gives you assistance, maybe who helps you to get a job, who helps you, brings you on, and as a partner, in partnership on some sort of project or something. Crowned by a 2, rooted by a 2, though. So definitely there's a lot of partnership energy going on here, whether it's romantic or not. Because this is still the general reading. Crowning the feminine. Ooh. King of water and the 9 of spring. For some of us, this just straight up means don't give up on the King of water. And who that represents in your life. Maybe you've been wondering, this isn't going anywhere. Should I just let him go? This is like a no in that regard. This is keep pushing. For others, it's keep pushing toward that, thing that you love. That thing or person that you keep going towards, whether they're a water sign or not. Could be, again, job, project, something that you're invested in and emotionally. The King of Water is trustworthy, compassionate, respected, and cultured. Open your heart and mind to those around you. You have trustworthy and heartfelt advice, or you may receive some. And charity work. Charity work is an exchange of unconditional love as far as I'm concerned, because it's giving and or receiving without agenda, if it's real charity work. And that's coupled with, the 9 of spring. You've worked hard, and what you've created is impressive. Could be a business, could be a relationship that you've created, could be a better you, something that you are emotionally tied to, that was your baby. You built this thing. annoying challenges may pop up. That doesn't mean that you give up on your dream, you know. Continue to pursue it is what this is saying. Don't worry. You'll get through those annoying challenges just as you have in the past. Feminine surrounded by. The Emperor and the Prince of Autumn. Organization and logic. Structure and discipline. Leadership. The Prince of Autumn is trustworthy, dedicated, protective, and funny. It's important to make a detailed plan. Yeah, the Emperor would really like that. He's all about organization. Before starting any new endeavor, once you have that plan in place, then you can take immediate action and get as much accomplished as possible. The Prince of Autumn is a Virgo, Capricorn, or Taurus, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. The Emperor is perhaps an Aries or a Scorpio. Together, these could be representative of a job, or your own company, your own project. Some sort of authority to whom you may have to pay money, or they may owe you money. Very slow in coming, whichever direction it's been. That can be an annoying challenge, like maybe a bill popped up, but that doesn't mean that you don't continue to pursue your dream. It'll still work out. Believe in the Nine of Cups, for example. You might be saying, like, how's it going to work out now? I just spent the little bit of money I had on something else, on that bill, on that, something from the government, maybe parking ticket, or I don't know, unexpected something. I just put all I had into that. So how am I going to pursue my dream now? And that's where the faith comes in again too. And believe in yourself that you've figured out your way out of tough spots before. You can do it again, is what this says. Feminine subconscious. The Queen of Air and the Two of Autumn. The Queen of Air is independent, experienced, realistic, and witty. Objective decision making. Here's what this decision again. Clearing away all that no longer serves you and seeing the humor in the situation. The Queen of Air is a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. Perhaps Venus herself. She's got an earthly decision to make with the Two of Autumn. It's another card about needing to make a decision. You may be under stress because of multiple jobs or too many responsibilities for one person to manage. It's important to balance your work and personal life and to bring a spirit of fun to all you do. Yes, that's true too. It can be about her juggling multiple things and her need to not just work, slowly trying to make the ends meet the means, but to also be social. And it's mirroring this Two of Spring with the Three of Water. So this can be her need to accept some sort of proposal, offer, date, consider some sort of reconciliation. That could be the decision. One of them may have made it to the other may be awaiting it. But in each corner here, thus far, well, not this one, but in all three of these corners, there's a two. So again, a lot of that energy of partnership. The Major Arcana card 2, the Two of Wands, and the Two of Pentacles here. Yeah, again, as far as this could be you trying to juggle finances and do both. Like, I got to pay this bill, or this expense popped up, but I still want to pursue this thing. And the cards agree that you should. Crowning. Another 8 of Earth, 8 of Pentacles or Autumn. Skilled work is rewarded. Learning all there is to know about a topic, and maybe even going back to school. That is coupled with major arcana card, the Moon, which is a card that guides us. Like it says, basically like the Nine of Cups, that even if you don't know what's coming up, what's ahead, what's in the future, if you were guided, your intuition is telling you, your gut is telling you, your heart is telling you to do it without fear, being worried. And you can believe that if you put the work in, you're reaping what you've sown. That much you can believe. That information you have available to you. Major Arcana card 18, the Moon, represents the sign of Pisces. It's important to trust your intuition, see? Even if you're unsure of what's happening, see? All will be revealed soon, so worry is unnecessary. Yeah, you're guided to just keep pushing. Just like this 9 of Spring tells you. It's just 2 9s, basically, also. 18 equals 9. And it's sitting here next to the 9 of Spring. At the root, foundation. More earth and more fire. Like about that energy of hot pursuit. Pursuing an opportunity. Maybe with an earth sign. We certainly had that come up last week. And now we have like all the members of the court here except the Queen, the King of Autumn, the Prince of Autumn, the Page of Autumn. The Page of Autumn, or Earth, is scholarly, dependable, patient, and successful. And it's crossing this Prince of Autumn. I was saying like slowly but surely, making the ends meet the means. So that may be why you're having to be patient, or you've had to be patient, because it's like been a slow but consistent progress, at least. Maybe slow but consistent progress on an issue, too. Not necessarily money. But the Page of Earth is all about good news about financial matters. Wanting to do something more challenging and maybe even a new area of study. We have the Page of Earth, who is a Virgo, Capricorn, or Taurus, perhaps, coupled with the Prince of Spring, who's a Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries. An Aries, like the Emperor. And is that knight in shining armor. He is passionate, charismatic, confident, and restless. Like he can't sit still. An opportunity arises that needs your attention right away. Moving quickly is important, yet there's nothing that you can't handle if you follow your inner guidance. Last week, before I even pulled out the cards, I said that I was feeling proposals and maybe even wedding proposals. And I did have 2 clients, both of which are earth signs. We have this earth energy mirroring each other. That they announced that they're engaged. They were separately my clients. The groom-to-be I met first. Platonic situation, younger gentleman. Gentleman, definitely. Absolutely gentleman is the appropriate word for him. Met him first. We became, friends, friendly. And then met her through him, but they were also platonic internet friends at the time too. And she became my client first. And then maybe about 6 months ago, he too became my client, like right before they started dating officially. He had been considering it, and that was even one of the reasons why he asked for the reading, because he had been ironically, he had been dealing with prior in Aries. And he was like, I want to know how my energy would be with another earth sign, because he is a Taurus, like the Hierophant here. And the reading turned out, very promising. And subsequently, their relationship also did. And yeah, they're getting married. I think it's amazing. So I was just reminded of it with these cards, and I guess you can see why. We got all the cards here that match up with them. At the heart of the matter. Ooh. The Ace of Earth. The inflow of abundance. A promising business venture. And important documents or contracts. Absolutely. That's all I've seen in this reading so far. Important documents or contracts for sure. And new beginnings. This is the third ace. We had the ace of air, the ace of cups, and now the ace of earth or pentacles. With the king, the knight, and the page. This is an abundant week. And it may just be a week that where our focus is on work and money and finances and home and hearth, our household, making a plan, reaching goals, right? The Nine of Cups can represent dreams and goals too. Our dreams coming true, our plans finally beginning to move, beginning to, we see movement on our plans. And they may put us in the lead, or again, it could be literally having something to do with an authority, us being a leader, a boss. The King of Spring is inspiring, dramatic, ambitious, and wise. Now's your moment to step up into a leadership role. This is going to be about you just speaking up too. Again, like I was talking about that water sign, I think it was, earlier in this reading. Yes, I said it might be a Scorpio. Mysterious and all of that. Not afraid, but just mysterious, closed off, and unwilling. I'll use the word unwilling. Maybe to communicate at times, but that being a little bit different now with this Venus in Leo energy that this puts us in hot pursuit. Now here's this king. It's like the Lion King movie, right? Where she says, like, you have to step into your role as king. That's what this is here. And this can be for the feminine, the masculine, females, males, non-binary, whatever. It's here at the heart of the matter for everybody. It's not specific to one side or the other. King of Spring is a Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. Could be some sort of inheritance for the feminine too. Maybe from her father. Or a settlement or something from the job. Or promotion, raise, bonus. That was like a long time coming. And maybe you really had to fight for, and things just kept coming up like to get in the way of your progress at the job. But now here's this Ace of Earth finally showing up. Or you might need to leave a job, get an opportunity to go somewhere else, take on something new. That may be how you solve the problem of an obstacle popping in your way. You pursuing another avenue instead. Then that can be for relationships as well. Let's see what else the cards have to say. You know what I'm going to... I was going to say I'm going to clarify these with this other deck. But maybe not. I think this reading might be the reading portion already like an hour. And plus I went over things prior. I could separate it. Well, no, I won't. You know what? We'll clarify a few strategic ones. I'll try to pick up on which ones we should look at. I'm beginning with family. Loving your friends and family is central to your life purpose. And open to artists. Engaging in artistic activities is beneficial to your career and every other area of your life. Family. sensitivity. You're becoming more sensitive, and you need to make changes accordingly, like the Hierophant, the people, places, and things with which you surround yourself. Family and music. Your connection to music is healing for yourself and others. That came up in a reading I did. It may have been the Capricorn meeting, a reading I did last week, and I said a family member, perhaps your father, doesn't want you like wasting your time with something like music or whatever, but this is your passion. So somebody could still be dealing with something like that. And opening to Strength, which is a very Leo-like card. Everything that you are experiencing in your life has made you strong and courageous. So you can face whatever comes your way this week too, even as it relates to family and if it's some sort of conflict with them, including your father. Strength. And lastly, builder. I talked a lot about being a builder last week too. It's 8, build, destroy. Either you're with us or you're against us. You're building or you're knocking down. You're contributing or you're detracting, taking away. Your innate ability to build and create brings you a deep sense of accomplishment. Strength. And back to artist. So there is definitely something going on with people wanting to create something. There's a creator energy here, and that's very Venus too. Create. It still could be creating in relationships, co-creation together. What kind of relationship are we going to build together? Our overall energy, just like our heart of the matter, is infinite abundance. You're fully supported as you devote yourself to your divine life purpose. So even if the people, unfortunately, around your life, or even the places like are not conducive to your life purpose, the things that surround you, doesn't mean that you can't make it there. And even if you don't see a way how, there is support for you in the universe. And I talk about helping people to shift mindsets, and I even give you the words to put you on track to doing it all by yourself for free in a reading that I put up last week, also called Canceling Karmic Debt and Generational Curses. And that can be what's showing up here too. Stuff about karmic debt and generational things. That may be why I keep seeing, or why they keep showing us father and family. I am going to go ahead and so these can continue to build on the message that we had, that was existing already, and or this can turn into a brand new message now, having added these cards. So now joining the 6 of Cups and the High Priestess, right? 6 of Cups and the High Priestess is practice. Polish your skills by practicing regularly. For some people, you may have been like more intuitive in your past. Or this can also be speaking to, again, whatever skill you have, even if it's something that's more tangible than being a spiritualist. It may have been something that you were more into as a child and felt you were better at as a child. I played an instrument as a child. I was a musician. I was some sort of artist. And you've been guided to pick that up again, but you don't know. Like, I'm not as good as I was. I don't remember it. practice. They're saying don't give up on it. Just put some effort into sort of relearning and honing your skill by practicing regularly. Your inner high priestess might be who's telling you to do this, and you're trying to ignore her. Atop the King of Earth and the Five of Water, creative expression. Your soul longs to express itself creatively. And yeah, maybe you want to be, you can be successful at this. You know, even if people, or even yourself, your own mind keeps telling you that your cups won't be full if you're an artist, right? You'll be a starving artist. That's not true. This can also be, again, about somebody that needs to speak up and expressing yourself in a creative way. You may be coming up with a creative way to send someone a message, to express yourself in some way to someone about something. Atop the Two of Spring and the Three of Water. Again, twos are about faith and trust, and that's exactly what this says. Trust. Trust that your feelings and dreams, or trust your feelings and dreams, rather, like I said here. And your intuition, I would add. Let them guide your career path. This is about you having faith and doing what you feel guided to do. Threes, in general, are about creativity and abundance. Atop the Nine of Spring and the King of Cups, King of Water. Energy healing. That makes a lot of sense. Because you're feeling like kind of down and out here. The water is cleansing and purifying. Something else I talked about in that canceling karmic debt and generational curses video. Definitely watch that video, particularly if you're here on the feminine or a masculine, maybe who needs to allow his inner feminine to kick in and cause him to surrender. It could be a King of Water. It's requiring surrender. And, you know, that may, what I've provided online for free may be enough. Or you may need to seek further energy healing, maybe from a professional. A high priestess. Not unlike myself. I do this for, you know, I do it for a living, although, like I said, I provided a lot for free, I think a lot. And people seem to like it. In fact, they like it also. There's like, you know, it's getting a lot of, for those who've watched it, as usual, a lot of people are not even knowing that I made a video. But for those who do know and have watched it, it's getting a lot of positive feedback. So yeah, energy healing to get you back into this place of wholeness and confidence and ready to pursue your dreams. Your natural healing abilities are an important part of your life purpose. So yeah, that's what I help you to use your own natural healing abilities in that video about canceling vows and contracts that are no longer serving. So that can be what this is speaking to too. Some of these things about contracts and whatnot that come up in the cards, especially with the Six of Cups also present, can be like past stuff and past life stuff that we want to get rid of. Atop the King of Autumn, here with the Emperor, is animals. You understand animals and communicate with them intuitively. Trust your inner guidance as the animals are a part of your life's work. Maybe you're guided to move to some sort of company or start your own company to be the boss. It's something having to do with the earth and maybe natural stuff and or animals. Feminine. Atop the Two of Water, maybe you're trying to decide, juggle, trying to do all of it. It's this Queen of Air. Oh, maybe it's a yo-yo. Could be some yo-yo dieting here on the part of a feminine. We want to nix that if that's happening. But there's another card of healing here for you too in general. Nutrition. You conduct healing work with your culinary skills. So that can give you some energy healing too. That can be your natural healing ability. It can have something to do with cooking. It could be some sort of nurturing or care for animals. I don't know, working at a shelter or something. Even if it's volunteer work, and that may be healing to you too. Being able to connect in that way, you could find that very therapeutic and healing. Crowning atop the moon and the 8 of earth, where we put that work, getting what we deserve, is support. That's how we're going to get what we deserve, because it's out there for us in the universe. Your life purpose fully supports you. So even if you don't know how, it will. If we let go of the fear and actually pursue what we're guided to do, that tends to be how that works. How we manifest that. Atop the Prince of Spring and the Page of Earth. Sensitivity. You're becoming more sensitive and you need to make changes accordingly. This Page of Earth could be representative of the Hierophant energy, again, the Taurus. And there's a need to make a change and to do it now. Like not to wait anymore, to pursue making changes to your life immediately. Toward things with which you better resonate and they with you. And at the heart of the matter, atop the King of Spring and the Ace of Pentacles is Speaker. This can be how you make your money too. Your life, or you can go hear one and maybe be motivated or directed as to how to pursue what it is you're trying to pursue. Your life purpose involves your skills of oration. This can also be talking about Mercury or Venus, both rulers of Gemini, the great communicator, in Leo. All right, this could be Venus. She is Earth. Mercury rules the sign of Virgo. That's the page. Earth. So some of us may need to hear some sort of, for the feminine crossing the energy healing, it can be about hearing somebody else, like a guided meditation or something can be what helps us to get our confidence that we're strong enough to pursue whatever it is we're interested in pursuing. I guess I was guided to use the life purpose cards this week because the spread was going to come out more so about Earth and the earthly and work and stuff than romance. Last week it was like pure romance. Masculine device is the 9 of air. Okay, we're not having faith. We're lacking faith on the masculine side. That's what all the 2s are about. And we're walking around holding on to fear. That's what the moon is representing for us. Expecting the worst. Self-fulfilling prophecies. Also sleepless nights. And this may be about you again having to stand up to somebody, maybe even your boss or your father or some other kind of authority. And that may be why there's fear. Or you're awaiting a decision from one of them, from somebody that's in authority, and that's why there's fear. But you're still guided to very confidently, like this leader, like this lion here in the middle, follow the guidance from your inner priestess that you're being given, the divine guidance. It's not going to steer you wrong. Feminine, Major Arcana card 19, the Sun. Something that's hidden will come out, information will come out, but also there's a happy outcome to whatever's going on here with us. The Sun also about rays and sometimes about like therefore for me often about like x-rays and MRIs and whatnot, but I'm also getting like the rays and like the healing ray with all this earth and this green showing up, like the emerald ray having to do with the energy healing for the feminine. Happy outcome, brilliant new ideas that lead to success if you have confidence in yourself. So if you can hold that energy of the 9 of Wands, that nothing can get you down, and you're going to keep on pushing and you're going to persevere, then you will. Very simply. Major Arcana card 19, the sun represents the sign of Sagittarius. It's another page of summer for the masculine. He's got one up here. Now he's got one in his advice. The Princess of Summer. Sensitive, kind, open-hearted, and inexperienced. You can expect to kindle a new romantic relationship or a close platonic friendship. You may suddenly receive an emotional message from someone or be invited to a social event. Or you may decide to, again, hit somebody up with a message. Creatively express yourself to somebody else. The Princess of Summer is a Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. Maybe somebody younger than you, maybe even a child involved in something, with the 6 of Cups also showing up. And now you're having 2 pages. Ugh. For the feminine, the 3 of Winter. Sadness is part of life, but you don't have to endure it alone. You may need a little time to heal, but once you work your way through the emotions, you'll be stronger than before. For some, again, I think this has to do with some sort of previous loss of somebody who may be leaving you inheritance, possibly one's father, that possibly was an earth sign, because I've been feeling that for a couple of weeks too. I even said 2 weeks ago in a general that might have specifically been a Capricorn. He's going to visit you even if he is deceased. I was feeling that very strongly. So for some of us, we're just getting through those emotions, and we'll still come out okay. But for some, there's actually something attached to it, like in the form of inheritance. And so that may be stirring up old feelings. For others of us, you know what, I'll pull another card, because I just got that message, which is kind of specific. Lastly, masculine, children. As I just said, this Princess of Summer, your other Princess of Summer, Page of Summer, Cups, and the 6 of Cups can all be representative of something having to do with children too. There's another lion, another Leo, like you leading the pack here in this card also. Carrying the children. You are the foundation, right? You are their protector. It can be about your own inner child too. But you like emerging as this strong being despite some stuff that went on in your childhood. I'm getting a whole thing that's about to go dark, so I don't want to. I was seeing like with this Pied Piper kind of person, I was seeing like maybe abuse from the past or whatever. This is like surviving that. You were like an innocent lamb. And then this person may have manipulated you or something. But still emerging strong. And maybe because of that, you're able to heal and to teach others. Your life purpose involves helping, teaching, and healing children. That can be done through music or through other art forms. Painting, drawing, speaking, like poems, written communication, books, or being some sort of motivational speaker or a person that speaks out. I experienced this. I went through this. Now I'm here to help you. Yeah, I was talking about the feminine. I ended up over here with the masculine. Oh, no. I went to do the masculine's card, children. All right, feminine. For us, there's teaching, too. You inspire young people to learn. This is a very Hierophant kind of card also. It doesn't have to be about actually literally inspiring young people to learn, although you may be doing that maybe consciously and unintentionally. I think the focus here can be simply about enlightenment. Maybe because the sun also turned up and energy healing is also here. Something about clarity and enlightenment, and because speaker is here too, communication, nutrition, maybe feeding ourselves with, nourishing ourselves with through meditation and seeking that sort of peace. But I do want to pull one other card for the feminine's Three of Winter, of what it can mean for the rest of us, though, other than those who may have lost somebody and working their way through that, maybe specifically their father. King of Summer. Maybe we lost a King of Summer. Maybe we had a poor relationship with one before. He's up here too. Maybe that is who wants to come back, or maybe this is us, doing well even after experiencing some hurt with the King of Water. But my first thought when I picked up these two cards before was not to give up on a King of Water. So, there may be some pain from the past having dealt with him. Maybe you're going to come into some sort of enlightenment about that situation and a better understanding of perhaps he was going through something too. Maybe involving his childhood, something that had come up, some feelings he was trying to deal with. He's become more sensitive to them, couldn't fight them off. Some stuff may have unfortunately had to do with abuse because that came up. Sun again about healing and things turning out well in the end despite the pain and hurt that was there. King of Summer, twice over for the feminine. A trustworthy person or a romantic relationship, or a relationship in general, enters your life. You may receive wise and compassionate advice from someone, and if so, they speak directly from the heart. The King of Summer is warm-hearted, devoted, loving, and faithful. He is also a Scorpio, Pisces, or Cancer, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. Feminine may need some energy healing, seriously. Not just what I have available for free, but do check it out, especially if this sounds like you, if this resonates with you in a particular way. It tends to resonate with most who actually watch it, but if it really, hits you in a particular way, and you have not seen the video that I did about canceling karmic debt, please do check it out. I will be back with love. Thanks again for joining, liking, sharing, and subscribing. Namaste.